right, welcome to our Wednesday night course spotlight. I'm Kathy Lawson, I'm the Chief Knowledge Officer. And what I love about these course spotlights is it's our opportunity to learn from our wonderful creators who bring their, so important content to our system and our platform and share it with you. And then you can turn around and promote it and share it with your contacts, and it just goes around the world just like that. So it's a really amazing opportunity, and we all grow as a result. So tonight will be a great opportunity for you to hear from two people. I was reading their bios earlier, and very impressed because, one of the things that I admire, part of what I teach is people overcoming and breaking through and, working their way to something better, creating something better maybe than what they're living with today or putting up with today, right? And the Great Discovery is all about that, and so much of our content is about that. But it's really powerful when our content creators share their own life struggles and turn that into something that works, that they can share with other people. And that is the story tonight. So let me tell you a little bit about Debbie and Alan, and then I'm going to turn it over to them. So Debbie has been on a journey of transformation since the age of 49, she says. She has released significant amount of weight. She's run a half marathon and dramatically improved her health. Now she's passionate about revitalizing middle-aged men and women's health. She's always telling people that age is only a number and there are always possibilities. Amen to that. She guides them to solutions to revitalize their health, mind, body, and soul. That's amazing. And Alan, for many years, struggled to build and keep relationships. In that time, he explored many approaches, but none really gave him the answers that he needed. So after his second divorce, Alan knew he had to find a better way to truly understand people. And that search led him to create the rapid trait profiling, a system that reveals personality and behavior in minutes. Today, it's backed by science, and it's recognized globally as a breakthrough in reading people. Now Alan's mission is to pass these skills on. He's focused on training so these life-changing tools reach more people, families, and communities around the world. So Debbie and Alan are here tonight to share their live webinar, which is called Your Face Reveals, Your Minds Transform. I'm going to turn it over to you guys.
Well, that was a wonderful introduction to both of us. Thank you, Kathy. And I am Debi Voris. I'm that certified holistic health coach, and I'm honored to have Alan Stevens, an international profiling and communication specialist. And we're announcing that we have a, live online collaboration webinar called Your Face Reveals, Your Mind Transforms. It's on October 22nd at 7 p.m. Pacific. And for those people in Australia, it is on October 23rd at 1 p.m. Australian Eastern Daylight Time. Is that correct, Alan?
That's correct. That's Sydney time. Yes.
Yes. Okay. And yes, it is literally two talks in one, and they intertwine so well. And today, we are certainly in trying times, and it's important to manage our stress and emotions and recognize how we can officially talk to ourselves and others with better communication and develop stronger personal relationships, which Alan's going to talk about the hidden traits of your face. So I'm going to, you pretty much kind of got a little bit of idea of what I was like from the bio that Kathy read to you. And I just want to say that I am a passionate certified holistic health coach that had my own health and mindset transformation. And what really drove me was a dramatically improved blood results, to tell you the truth, and they ignite my passion to learn more and become a certified holistic health coach, where I do revitalize people's lives in the areas of mind, body, and soul. It propelled me to start my journey and wanting to know more and learn more. Now, that weight release journey was, not only did I get healthier, but over time, my mindset changed, knowing about possibilities out there and continued learning. And just to let you know, I released 70 pounds and I kept it off my November 12th anniversary. So it's not that far away. And I've done 8 half marathons. So that's quite an accomplishment, starting running at the age of 51. Thank you, Daniel. And I have become a very positive person throughout this journey. And even during our shutdown, I would go running no matter what. And whenever I saw someone in my neighborhood, I would wave and say, hello, have a wonderful day. And that perked them up. I could see just by their eyes that they were happier when I addressed them, because a lot of people weren't talking to anyone during those times. And my neighbors got to know me and I got to know them. And that's when my first talks, Happy Runner Chats, were born. And it became later on Debi's Changes Lives podcast. From then to now, I'm constantly learning and evolving as time goes on. And over time, I taught myself and learned how to deal with stress and emotions too. And this is a little story I'm going to tell you that will illustrate this, okay? A few years ago, I actually broke my foot 7 days before my half marathon that I was supposed to run. Yeah, I wasn't too happy about that. But you know what's really cool? My doctor was saying I was healing really fast. And then he looked at the chart and said, and he was going to take me out of my boot. He looked at the chart and said, oh, it's only been 4 weeks. You got 2 more weeks to go. And I was like, I was happy that I was healing fast. And when that 2 more weeks came about, he gave me guidance to ease into running. And that's exactly what I did. But unfortunately, I kept on falling. And I was laughing about it because I was talking about it on my Happy Runner chats. I felt like I was doing the cha-cha and just laughed it off. Well, as time went on, there was some outside family member that was draining my energy by demanding way too much of me. And I started getting feeling overwhelmed, which was an emotion I had over 20 years ago. I recognized that. And later I was getting a little doubtful, a little bit frustrated. And that frustration finally peaked. And I said, excuse my language, damn it, I'm going to start training for that half marathon. And I did. I put up boundaries. I started training. And when the day came up, I was really excited. It was a stormy, windy day. And I actually was running against the wind, literally. But I had so much gusto that I actually finished that half marathon with the most energy I ever did in all the half marathons I've done. And at that time, that was number 6, I believe. And I was so happy that I got it done. Those happy hormones actually made me think I wanted to do a full marathon. But later I rethought that because it takes a lot of training to do a full marathon. And I only do half now. But my whole point is that because I released that stress and emotion, a gate opened up with so many opportunities for me that I started getting, it just made me happy that I was able to do other things. So a light bulb moment went off. Yeah, I only do half marathons, Daniel. And a light bulb went off because I became aware I really need to teach people to be more aware of these low vibrational emotions and how they slow you down and get you stuck physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. As I say in my podcast, like a hot air balloon, I help my clients release those emotional balances and baggage so they can uplift to a better, happier, healthier life. And in turn, they are releasing their stress. They're feeling better. They are reshaping their core beliefs, and they'll see and feel a difference with my coaching programs. And that's exactly what happens. Now, why do low vibrational emotions like fear, frustration, and doubt slow people down? Simply, it slows you down your thinking, being so preoccupied with those emotions that you have these thoughts that go into circles. It's called overthinking. And that will not only slow you down mentally, but it also slows you down physically. You get tired. You won't sleep well. People do get depressed. Some inflammation may happen in your body systems, and you may have health issues. And to tell you the truth, when your spirit sulks, so to speak, it feels depleted. and defeated. And you'll be in a disbelief, and you really want to keep that mindset strong and really, be in a positive mindset that you want to do things like Dr. Herbert Harris said earlier. And anything that's new could be a roadblock, because your subconscious mind is constantly sending waves of low vibrational emotions, thoughts, feelings, physical and mental stress into your consciousness. It wants to stop you, because that's our reptilian brain trying to protect us. It becomes a cycle of emotions that causes stress, and stress that causes emotions. And then you have excess feelings of thoughts and emotions that cycle through as well. And with my talk, Master Your Mindset, Transform Your Life, that's one of the talks, I talk about that reptilian brain and explain the sympathetic nervous system and how low vibrational emotions can trigger panic and anxiety, as well as slow down you physically, creating high cortisol, spiking insulin, lowering your metabolism. And it's important to recognize what's going on physically and mentally, because that is the mind-body connection, okay? And your gut is what's going to create cloudy thinking in your brain. Your brain is what's going to make you anxious and nervous and give you that, butterflies in your gut. And your heart will also sense things. It senses panicking, and your heart rate will go up. But it can also calm you out of that emotional, stressful state. You cannot control what's going on around us. You can only control how you react to it. So I help people recognize that, possible triggers. I ask them, where's your stress coming from? And help them let go of their stress and emotions with understanding that, and you'll begin to manage those emotions, because they're a messenger telling you to react differently now. And when you do this, you will lower your stress, and you'll be more aware of your patterns. That's a problem with a lot of people entrenched in anger. They don't realize, and they're not thinking clearly. But once you start recognizing these patterns, you'll be able to overcome all these emotions in time. And remember, stress and emotions is a cycle that's not healthy. I will show people how to sense stress physically and also mentally, to diffuse those emotions, a stressful state, and to become calmer. And you'll be activating the parasympathetic nervous system. And again, over time, you'll recover from these events, and it will be more at ease when you get into new situations. It does take practice. It's worked for me, and life is full of surprises. So it's important to let go and forgive and to move forward. Otherwise, you get stuck where you're at. So as part of my talk, we'll be going through a couple of exercises. There'll be a mini question and answer session. And of course, there's going to be a free offer and a discounted program. Now, as I stated at the beginning, this webinar is 2 talks, and mine is only 1. So Alan, introduce yourself and tell us about what you're going to speak about.
Thanks very much, Debbie. And by the way, thanks for the invitation to come along and join you, and also to everybody here today. I came on 15 minutes early, and I was able to hear Clara and also Dr. Herbert Harris talking about relationships and how important they are. And that's virtually what it comes down to. Everything I do is in building relationships. But as you heard before, in the first 50 years of my life, I was dreadful at creating relationships. I'd been through 2 divorces, a lot of broken relationships. I'd even had business partners who emptied the bank out. In the 1970s, I was put in charge of men who were older than me, and I had to get them on side. I was 23 and my second in charge was 38. And I used in those days body language, and that worked quite effectively. Then in the 80s, I joined the surf club, became a surf lifesaver, and became zone supervisor of 3 beaches. And in that was getting people on side and working with them. And I'd also use things like Myers-Briggs and disc profiling in the 80s to build better relationships. However, they seem to be lacking in many different ways, especially when you ask people questions and they then respond in the way that they think they should respond, or they respond emotionally, and you start to getting false readings. In the 90s, I got involved in NLP, did my master's in NLP. But in my second marriage, I'll give you an example of things weren't going too well. My wife had sent me a message asking if I'd go and join her and have lunch. But she picked out a really nice cafe, and I thought, oh, this is great. We're finally connecting. Well, I got there early, found a nice little seat. Now, this is a really popular little cafe where a lot of people walk in. It's always packed, but it's a nice Mediterranean type background. The tables are metal tables with tiles on the top, very colored tables, pictures around the wall and everything else. And my wife walked in, sat down next to me, and in a voice that could just be heard by everybody in the room, her first words to me were, "I want a divorce." The place went dead quiet. The only sound you could hear at that stage was my heart hitting the floor. At that point, I thought, what the hell? I'd had all these other skills, and it still wasn't working. Well, anyway, about that time, a couple of friends, my second wife had taught me into being a massage therapist. With that, I'd put that on hold. The following year, a couple of mates taught me into getting the table out, giving them a massage. And that got me back involved with giving people massages. But I started getting terminally ill patients coming to me. And a lot of them were actually reversing their conditions because I used NLP, massage therapy, sound therapies, color therapies, aroma therapies, you name it. I've just about done every therapy there is. And as a good friend of mine said the other week, that it's probably about time I was in therapy, at which point I couldn't really argue with him on that score. But with it, I found that I needed better ways of reading people. And while I was out bush spending time with the Aboriginals and finding out more about their culture, I realized the connection of stopping and listening to people, but really focusing on them. And while I was helping another friend do a spiritual retreat where we used Myers-Briggs as a dichotomy, talking about the dichotomies there and doing role plays, somebody said to me, "You ever looked at reading faces?" Now, the most important thing you'll ever learn in life is the next thing you learn after you think you know it all. And that was the real waking up for me. So the end result, I started looking around. I found Paul Ekman in California, the psychologist over there, a professor, who had done a lot of research on the micro-expressions, little twitches on the face that give away your emotions. And then at the same time, I found an English lady also living in California, in Petaluma, Naomi Tickle, who taught the facial features. And I started working with her as well. Naomi's now retired, but she became a very good friend while I was working with her. And then I realized that what Paul was doing with the facial expressions, he wasn't doing anything about the facial features. At the same time, with Naomi, with the facial features, wasn't doing anything with the facial expressions. And I thought these correlate beautifully. Now, and by the way, everything I do is done with respect. I look for the upside of your traits and I look for the downside of your traits. The downside is how you get triggered when something happens that's out of character. You know, you're stressed in a situation, that's when that trait will come out. So one of the things I always like to do, instead of going into what I'm going to teach and everything else, if I may, I'm going to just do a quick little demonstration here right now. If I look at Gregory, for instance, I know Gregory brings together ideas very quickly. He has what I call objective thinking. Once he's got things worked out, pulls things together, he's very fast on that. He's also got what I call, or he's got a dry wit as well, but he's also got what I call physical motive. Once he's worked out how to do things, is get the hell out of the way, give me the best way to do it and let me get it done. So he's driven by action. I'm looking at Dr. Herbert. And by the way, I can do this from your photographs. And thank you, Dr. Herbert Harris, for turning your camera off because he's got his photograph there. He's got critical perception. So if you give anything to him, you better dot your I's, cross your T's, and make sure it's absolutely correct because he's going to find the errors in it. Looking at Kathy, I know Kathy just wants the overview, the least amount of information. If she's interested, then she'll ask more questions, but she'll make her decisions very quickly as well. I look at Raymond. I know that Raymond gives his time, his energy to people, what I call automatic living, gives far too much of himself at times, and probably, you know, if people aren't responding, can feel that people haven't really given back to him. They haven't respected what he's given to them. He actually gives people fish. Whereas if I look around and say, well, Brian's more likely to teach them how to fish, to make sure that they learn how to do things properly. So if I can see your facial features, I know how to talk to you in the way that you want to be spoken to. I know that in the case of Dr. Herbert, I have exactly the same trait, critical perception. It's great for finding errors in things, in documents, things like that. Pictures on the wall that might be slightly out of tilt by like a meter across and out by a millimeter. We'll see it. That's the upside of the trait. But the downside is we can imagine something's going on in a relationship and it gets built up. Now I know why. Once I learned these traits, why my relationships were breaking down. So whenever I go into something, the first thing I do is I look at me and make sure that it's not the other person by checking me first of all. If it's me, then that's brilliant, because then I've got control and I can do something about it. If it's the other person, then I make that decision. Do I talk to them in a different way, or do I walk away from them? But I also know that Kathy, with a lot of women are very expressive in what they do. Like I can see that Rebecca's probably a bit more expressive when she's presenting and doing things. With you, Kathy, it's how it feels inside. So when you're working on something that's a bit stressful, just leave you alone so you can get it fixed and get it out of the way. So straight away, I know that if Kathy's working on something and she is really busy with it and looks focused on it, I'm not going to interrupt her. If, however, I needed your help, Kathy, and I said to you, look, I need your help over here, but I can see you're busy. If I just told you to come over and help me now, I know that you're not going to like that. But if I said to you, look, how much time do you need to get that to the point where you can then leave it and then come and help me? Would 5 or 10 minutes be okay? If you told me 10, I'll come back in 11 or 12. I'll also point out that I've given you extra time because I saw that that was really important to you. But if you come over and help me now, we can fix this problem, and then you'll be able to get back to your problem faster. So would I be right if you would then come over, be present, help me with what I'm doing, because you'll be able to get back to your target, your job very quickly. And as you can see, Kathy's been nodding all the way through. This is how easy it is to actually connect with somebody at that deeper level, to be able to build rapport very quickly. To build rapport, and because you're doing it with respect and you're focused on the other person, it's always going to be done in a way in which it's honest. There's no manipulation in this. The people who try and manipulate people, they've got to work harder at it. So even those that say, right, I just want to get more sales, and I train and work with them, they're focusing on the other person to become a problem solver, not just selling a product. They build a stronger relationship and their whole attitude to their clients improve. And this is what I do, and this is why I do it, to make those stronger relationships. My target right now is not only to train others, but it's to create and train my competition. I want more people doing what I'm doing so that they can then go out and train other people. In other words, I don't even want to just train the trainers of the trainers. I want to train the trainers of the trainers of the trainers, because this is my legacy for the last, getting on to 25 years now since I started doing this. So yes, I'm well into my 70s. I want to make sure that the legacy of that goes on to working with other people. And the youngest people I've trained was my 11-year-old granddaughter, and now it's one of my grandsons who's 10 years old. So there's no age limit to this. The skills have all been covered by science now, where the facial features weren't covered before. There's 17 sciences, including the psychologist's Big 5 profiling system, that have acknowledged the power of the facial features being connected to personalities. This is not character. This is how you like to think and process, not what you're thinking and processing. So two people can look very similar. One could be a saint, one could be a sinner. But it's then in the body language, the expressions and the conversations we have, the language, the paralanguage, all of those things that I teach that come part of this, then you understand that other person more effectively. And Daniel, you've got a question there.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I do feel left out, so I want to hear what you have to say about me. But you mentioned facial features and facial inflections.
Facial expressions. The little twitches on your face. When something happens around you, then you react in a certain way to it, and your face will give that away. There are 7 expressions which are universal: happiness, sadness, fear, surprise, anger, contempt, and disgust. If you feel any one of those emotions inside, you'll have the corresponding expression on the outside. So there's no hiding this. And if you repeat an expression over and over again, because of the way you think and concentrate, you'll create ridges and crevices on your face that then are a giveaway of your personality and how you like to process. That's why the face is a roadmap of your personality. And this is why it's beating on all levels, Myers-Briggs, DISC, Enneagrams, and any other profiling system out there.
That's fabulous,
Cool.
Ellen.
So what do you think about what's my deal?
Geez, I get this a lot, but I know that there's a bit of mechanical appreciation there. Now this one's in the eyebrows, but your glasses are in the way, but I can still see it because of the shape of the rims. There's mechanical appreciation. It's also how it feels inside, but organizing people and events is a gift that you actually have, where some people are very focused on being in charge and on their own. You're a bit more of a team player. You're happy to work with the team and work within the team as well. But he's also very concise when he talks to people. When he helps somebody out, he's going to teach them how to fish because he thinks before he gives, and he makes sure those people actually learn. How's that, Daniel?
Outstanding. Boy, I'll tell you what, HD is making your job easier. This is great.
So if you
Excellent.
guys like this and you want to share it, feel free to purchase a ticket, and you will get the recordings. And as you can see, it's best to be here live and get more interactive. Part of our
We did put the
presentation.
link in the chat for their course or their seminar. It's a
Oh
web.
yeah,
so-
one more thing. I just want to let you know that you will get the recordings and the offers and the special, and we have a 17% discount code for the Great Great Discovery community. And the link to the course, I didn't copy the link, but I'll go get it.
Yeah, and do you have your discount live now? Is that working?
It's live now, and,
Great.
and the day before.
Great. Well, this was fun. And I'm
Yeah, I
sure.
was gonna
How long is your seminar? The webinar? How long will it be?
It'll be at least an hour, and if it goes over, it goes over. But
Okay.
we're aiming for an hour.
Well, I mean, yeah, just give a ballpark. I mean, is it an hour or is it a day? So people just want to know.
It's
And
1
so,
hour,
yeah.
and maybe a little
Okay,
bit more.
great. Great. Very
I
good.
was gonna
Anybody have
ask, like,
questions or
Daniel.
comments?
Yeah,
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna ask like Daniel, because at first I thought he was gonna go throughout the entire Zoom room. I'm rarely on camera, but I was like, oh, what is he doing? He is on it. So I was just curious. So
Now, we'll have to get you all to come along to the workshops, and that's I'll be able to do that with you. By the way, I'll be giving a free gift away in there as well, plus a discounted service as well. And a lot of that usually includes a catch up at some point. So I'm always happy to give people a bit of a quick rundown on their profile. So if you're on that workshop, webinar, if you're on screen, yep, I'll be very interactive with everybody on the screen.
okay.
Great.
And
Any other
here's the link
questions?
to the actual course.
Yeah, so great. And okay, so you just so everybody knows, Debbie has the link from her replicated website. So you have to replace after the affiliate with your own to pass it on to other people. But I mean, you can certainly register through the Great Discovery on your own site. So
Yeah. Just remember,
all
I
right.
spell my name Debi, and then V as in Victor, Oris, if for some reason you don't get the link.
Yeah. Well, thank you both so much. This was lots of fun and great information. And I think your webinar is going to be fantastic. It's October 22nd. Is that what you said?
October 22nd at 7 p.m. Pacific.
Okay.
And
A little late for the East Coast, but that's, it's doable.
well, you get the recordings too. So if you
Yeah.
decide you need it not off, you can catch up for this.
Well, a lot of people are night owls too. And Alan, I take it, are you in Australia?
Yep, just north of Sydney on the coast, a place called Newcastle.
Okay. So that's what makes it
That'll
nice.
be our 23rd at
That
1
time
p.m.
is good for both continents. So that's wonderful. Yep. Okay. Anybody else? Any other questions or comments for Debbie or Alan? Everybody wants to have their face read now. It's great. So fun. All right. Well, thank you both so much. And thanks everybody for being in attendance. I'm sure you had fun. I know I did. It was great. And this is why I love Course Spotlights. You learn so much. It's fantastic. So please come back too. If you have other courses, both of you come back later and join us again. We'd love to have you come back and talk to us. So all right, everybody. Thanks so much. Take care. We'll see you on the next Course Spotlight, which is Monday.
Okay.
And tomorrow is affiliate training.